How do you set the tone when you are writing a story? Do you decide in advance if it's going to be spooky, funny, tense, sad, or happy? What advice can you give about setting the tone for your story? So I've mentioned previously, again, not sure if Dana played that particular video, but if she did, the concept of brain hacking. So the reason we're writers is because we are basically trying to fool the people who are reading our stories into giving a particular emotional response. People read most of the time people who read fiction most of the time are reading because they want to elicit a particular response from their brain without having to go through all the hoops of actually getting that response, air quotes, in real life. And how a story does that is mostly good writing. That's a tough one to say, but a large part of it is reading other books, the kind of things that you find scary and finding good ways of communicating that to other people. Keeping in mind that good fiction is universal, that the things that were horrifying or amusing or, any of that kind of emotion 500 years ago to a large extent will still be so today. I mean, that's not always going to be the case, but a lot of the reason that the parables, the fables, and the mythologies that we all call on have lasted so long, thousands of years in many cases, is because they call in a very human response. Now, unfortunately, as a beginning writer, that's not really all that helpful. The best thing I can say at this point is to write and then give your writing to somebody else and have them read it. And if they have the kind of responses you're looking for, you've written a scene that you want to be scary and they're scared, success. And if they're not scared, ask them like, okay, well, what kind of response did you get from this chapter? Did you find the setting to be scary or did you find it amusing? As very, very quick rules of thumbs, and keeping in mind that every rule is made to be broken, people like Stephen King and horror writers, Dan Wells, they tend to go really heavy on detail and focus in on texture and taste primarily when they're trying to make a setting horrific. And then more comedic writers like Terry Pratchett or John Scalzi, they'll gloss over details and focus more on human interactions. So if you're looking for a more humorous setting, you want to talk about the absurdity of the human experience rather than focusing on the details of the story as a general rule. Romance, a lot of the times, is about shorter, choppier sentences, trying to fill in the blanks in your own mind rather than having everything spelled out to you. But again, these are just suggestions, and there's no such thing as a hard and fast rule for how all this stuff works.